So, we're all using AI these days, right? For simple chats, for fun stuff. But how do you actually go from just chatting with an AI to making it solve real complex problems? That's what we're going to break down today. A practical guide to really leveling up your AI game.
And here's why this is so important. It's not going to be enough just to know about AI. The real skill, the one that companies will be desperate for, is knowing how to make AI do things. We're talking about a massive shift from just being a casual user to becoming a genuine AI-powered problem solver.
So, how do you become one of those people? It's not about learning 100 different AI tools. That's a losing game. It's about getting the core principles down, the stuff that works no matter which AI you're using. And that's exactly what we're going to walk through.
All right, first things first. To really get good at this, you got to understand just a little bit about how AI actually, thinks. And here's a spoiler for you. It's not magic, and it's definitely not thinking like you and I do. It's all about math.
Okay, let's try a quick brain test, just to see what I mean. I'm going to start a line from a really famous Malayalam nursery rhyme. You just finish it. Ready? Kake kake. I'm willing to bet your brain immediately shot back with kuchurvide, right? It means, where is your nest? Now think about that. You didn't have to look it up. You didn't have to run some complex algorithm. Your brain just knew. It predicted the next words because you've heard that pattern over and over again.
And this is where things get really interesting, because here's the fundamental difference between us and the AI. When you hear the word crow, you picture a black bird, you think about nests, maybe flying. You understand the concept. But the AI, it doesn't understand anything. To the AI, the word crow is just a number, and its only job is to calculate the most statistically probable number or word to come next. It's just a super-powered prediction machine.
So what does this actually mean for you? Well, this is exactly why when you ask a generic question like, write a marketing plan, you get back a really boring, robotic, average answer. The AI is just playing it safe. It's picking the most common, most probable path based on all the data it was trained on. Our job is to force it onto a much more interesting path.
So how do we do that? How do we get it off that boring, average path? Well, we get specific. And that brings us to our first big tool, a super simple but incredibly powerful formula called the ACT prompting framework. This is your secret weapon for getting expert-level results.
It's so simple, you're gonna love it. A is for act. You tell the AI what role to play, who it should be. C is for context. This is where you give it all the background info it needs. And T is for target. You tell it exactly what you want it to spit out at the end. And look at the difference this makes. It's night and day. On one side, you have, help me prepare for an interview. You're going to get a generic list of tips. So boring. But on the other side, using ACT, act as a senior hiring manager at Google. I'm a junior dev nervous about system design. Conduct a mock interview, ask a hard question, and grade me. See? You gave it a role, context, and a clear target. The answer you get back is going to be 1,000 times more useful. Okay, so nailing that first prompt is a huge win. But to really level up, we need to go beyond that. We need to start mastering the AI's data and its output. I absolutely love this analogy. Think of it this way. Asking a general question is like giving the AI a closed book exam. It has to pull the answer from its general memory, and there's a good chance it'll get things wrong or just make stuff up. But when you give it your documents, your data, it's like an open book exam. You're giving it the textbook and telling it, the answer is in here. Use these facts, not your memory. This technique has a name. It's called in-context learning, and it's a total game changer. So instead of asking a vague question, you upload your quarterly sales report as a PDF and ask, based on this specific report, what are the top 3 reasons sales dropped in November? You're grounding the AI in your reality. But even when you do that, you have to be careful. And that brings us to this super important word, hallucination. This is when the AI just makes stuff up. It'll state something as a fact with total confidence, but it's completely wrong. It's not trying to lie to you, it's just that its programming forces it to fill in the gaps when it doesn't know the answer. So what's the takeaway? You have to be the fact checker. You are still in charge. For any critical information, dates, numbers, historical facts, you have to get in the habit of verifying it. Challenge the AI. Ask it, are you sure about that? Or where did you get that information? This is an absolutely non-negotiable skill for using AI effectively. All right, let's shift gears and talk about making things easier for ourselves. Because typing out your role and your context every single time is a pain, right? It's like going to a new tea stall every single day. You have to explain your order from scratch, strong tea, less sugar, please. It's so repetitive. But what about your usual spot? You walk in, the owner sees you, and they just start making your tea. It's efficient. It's personalized. That's what we want.
And you can actually do this. In tools like ChatGPT, there's a feature called custom instructions. You can go in there and tell it once, hey, I'm a product manager at a software company, and I always want you to respond in a clear, concise, bullet point format. You set those rules one time, and the AI remembers. It makes every single conversation from then on way faster and way more tailored to you.
Okay, we've gone through a bunch of specific tactics, but I want to zoom out for a second to what is probably the most important lesson in all of this. It's not about which AI tool you use. Tools come and go. It's about mastering the underlying principles.
And the best way to think about this is like learning to drive a car. Let's say you learn on a basic Maruti. You learn the core skills, right? Steering, braking, using the accelerator. The tool itself is basic. But because you learn the principles of driving, you can now get into a fancy Benz and you can still drive it. The principles are universal. It's the exact same thing with AI.
So this is your superpower. These are the universal principles of AI mastery. The ACT framework, assigning a role, providing context, defining the target, grounding the AI with your own data, always verifying the output, and automating your instructions. You master these, and you'll be set, no matter what new AI comes out next year.
So this isn't just some abstract theory. This is a practical toolkit you can start using right now. So I have a question for you. Now that you have this framework, what's the first real-world problem you're going to solve with it? Think about it. A challenge at work, a project for school, whatever it is. Just start there, because that's how you really begin that journey from novice to expert.